Ah. I love that one. You know, that one. I don't know exactly what the song is. That doesn't matter? No, especially not when I'm peeking. Am I still peeking? Peeking. No? I think I'm alright. Hello! Ah! My shirt's gone! Oh my god. Oh. Yeah, we gotta fix this immediately. My goodness me. Oh my god. I'm so embarrassed. I had my comic read on Vosh's stream. I should have been ready. I should have been ready for my chest to disappear. How's everybody doing? I'm doing really well. Very hot. Very hot. Oh my god. Outside, it's like walking into a goddamn microwave. Jesus. And it's fucking bright, too. And I was walking Shay earlier today, and jeez, some crow. I wanted to make it as quick as possible. I didn't want that. I didn't want the asphalt hurting his little feet. It was alright. We had a great walk. He went to his pooping spot. He has a pooping spot. He loves it, and he poops. Which is good. Obviously, when your dog poops, and it's good. According to my fucking vet. Which he's not wrong. It's just, it's such a weird thing to think about. Like, the first thing you think about as far as your dog's health is everything coming out okay. I know last week we had, now listen, we had fun here on the Steamboatart Comedy Hour. But we've been playing some video games was I didn't want to, half of it because I didn't want to tire myself out, doing, like, because I gotta do one of these comics every week. Or at least I'd like to, for, you know, not only to keep myself accountable, but also to get the algorithm to notice me! Talking a lot without, you know, trying to find, I don't know, my chest. Let me stop fucking around here. Let me get my t-shirt on. Because that's where I was, Sunday. Or at least it'll give a clue. It'll give a clue as to where I was on Sunday. Oh, that's not it. Alright. Oh. I opened the page twice. Ha ha! Silly me. And I think it's going to be a long, long time before touchdown brings me round again to find. I'm not the man you think I am at home. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm a rocket man. So today, we're going to be drawing. Like I said, we've been playing too many video games. We've been slacking off too long. I got to make these comics here. So we are going to crack out maybe a panel. I would love to do more than one panel tonight. I'm always tricked because I have my earphones on. Because I get to adjust the volume on my earphones. So I always make sure I'm not like blowing anybody out with the if the bass all of a sudden just like drops like a bag of wet cement. We'll try to find my source here. I'm an elder millennial, if anybody's new to the stream. I'm an elder millennial. I feel, and trust me, when I'm trying to get something like my t-shirt on, or at least have the illusion that my t-shirt is on, I'm feeling every second of my 33 years. Oh, did I minimize it? Is that why it's making noise? Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah. Oh, fantastic. That's why. I always hate when it does that. Because I'm not an idiot. No, not me. I will never admit... I will never admit to user error on this stream. Never! Alright, let's get this under my chest here. There it is. Yeah, it was funny because I saw a thing on YouTube about, like, how much it actually is to make a VTuber model. Did I say YouTube is VTube? Oh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph. So I saw on YouTube a thing about VTubers. And it's like a rigging, like a model. Sometimes it could cost you up to like $1,000. And at first I'm going like, what? That's fucking crazy. No way. Because, you know, I made one. But, you know, that person was right. I'm blanking on their name, and it's shameful of me, because they made a good point. You know, when you're paying for art, you're paying, you know, for the artist to live, and I think a lot of people forget that. You know, artists are... all I'm going to say is, like, you have to really love art to be an artist in this day and age. Just saying, with oversaturation of whatever quote-unquote market, if I had hands that animated, I would have done the finger quotes, which I think that might be my my homework for the weekend. Or at least for, I think, what am I streaming? Oh, I could just do it tomorrow, because I'm not streaming, tomorrow. But I had family things this weekend, which, let me tell you something, my cousin just got a new house. And we all went to his house to celebrate my aunt's birthday. It was very nice. He lives by the water, you know, right on Long Beach. Very, very nice. He is an awesome cousin, and his fiance is a delight. Anyway, so yeah, got my t-shirt on. This is if you guys can see it, that's Beelzebong. Yeah, you didn't know I'm into the stoner doom metal? You better believe it. How do you think I write these comics and make dumb jokes? But anyway, yeah, this was at a bar in Brooklyn. I don't know if Brooklyn metalheads are in the chat. But St. Vitus, St. Vitus in Greenpoint, it's like an awesome metal bar that's been in the neighborhood forever. And this was part of their let's see if I can I'm gonna pull it up here. It was a tour they did, Weed Summer. So they're just some. Don't give me the actual name of the movie, Google. Oh, ow! Oh, my shirt! Oh no! There he is. All right, so you believe me when I say it was a hoot. It was a really great time, and I'm not above saying that my me and my buddies got totally blitzed going to this show. Not drinking though, because drinking's for squares. I said what I said. I smoked like a chimney. Goodness me. But I mean, that's the place to do it. And it was on a Sunday night too, and I'm like, oh Jesus. Well, I mean, that's the one nice part about a work stoppage. So I get to do this dumb shit. You know, of lying to myself that I have an extra $20 to burn on a cover. So yeah, let's get to drawing. Let's get to drawing the new Super Steam World. How am I gonna... Oh yeah, let me turn over. I was trying to remember a thought I had. Okay, so. Oh, that's right. See, I was so enchanted with the lo-fi music and wanted to get going. This headline struck me today. Struck me like a ton of fucking bricks. And the namesake of this stream, I guess, or the title of the stream today, this is just your friendly reminder that corporations and rich people, especially if you're in the workforce right now, if anybody in the chat is a laborer, union or otherwise, these people actively hate you. They actively hate you and will smoke you out and try to get you to be replaced with robots with a smile on your face. So this is what is going on with the Writers Guild strike right now. It's come to this, where, you know, normally you would have the Reaganite, you know, giving these rebellious workers a stern talking to in, you know, really demeaning, reprimanding HR in the 80s speak, which is, you know, you want to talk about robots now. That shit's like the Borg. But yeah, they are doing what they have done to IATSE when they wanted to discuss their contract. And I'm in IATSE. It's full disclosure. I am a card holder. And we, you know, back last year when talks were breaking down, they basically left us on red until the very last minute. And, you know, there's a whole mess of internal struggle, which I will get into on another day, because I really want to have my notes together for this one. And we'll talk about it in a way that also will not get me in trouble, because, you know, especially my local in New York, Local 52, they haven't been painted in the best light, even though the people within the union are trying their hardest to turn it around. And I'm biased because I and a bunch of other people in the union, like, we collaborate a lot on things that we could do to, you know, engage the new membership, or, you know, community outreach. And we're like the one oh, excuse me. Let me get a sip of water. I apologize. I was just outside. Again, it was like all the moisture from my body was sucking out of me like a reverse sponge. Like all the hydration in my body had been let me turn my volume down. There we go. All the hydration in my body was absorbed from me like Magneto did in fucking X-Men. Where he took like the iron out of that guy's body, out of from the skin. Ugh. Yuck. Huh. Anyway, yeah. This, you know, the scuttlebutt that goes around being like they're gonna do the same thing to the actors, and well, eventually, well, they are doing the same to the actors, really, because now they're ready to walk too, and that means a total stoppage on work. Uh, but yeah, especially people in less positions of power, like the writers, are also literally getting screwed to the point where it's like almost inhumane. I mean, the headline is already, it doesn't need to be, you know, you don't really need this spelled out. Regardless of whether SAG-AFTRA goes on strike, the studios have no intention of sitting down with the Writers Guild for several more months. Yeah, so this is exactly what's going on. They're planning it. I've read this article before. It'll just give you the spark notes. But yeah, they're not going to continue talks until late October. And this woman, Carol Lamardini, has been given, free reign to give zero fucks. Because they know how active young workers have been in these unions, in mobilizing strikes and organizing. So, no, and obviously no amount of PR is going to save these guys. So, you know, I would have taken this easier if basically Carol Lamardini whipped out a ukulele and started singing. At least that would be content. This just makes me fucking mad. Because I mean, again, I'm right again. They don't give a fuck. They want you dead. They would much rather replace you with a robot, or replace voice actors with AI, or writers with GBT, or grips and electrics with literal, like, machines, and LED lamps that you only need one person to press the button, and then it changes the entire light temperature. That means you only need maybe one editor, or however many people you continue to downsize until there's nothing left in a business. I don't need to read the article to tell you that I've worked in the business for 15 years. I've seen this. I've seen it. I've heard stories about it. The last time IATSE went on strike in the 90s, and my dad was an IATSE guy. He just retired. And he got out of here. He got out of here when he did. We got out when the getting was good. It's not impossible. It's not impossible to fix, but it's incredibly frustrating when the tides of power and money are always seeming to be blowing against you, or in the opposite current. And there's been entirely, restructuring the entirety of the inner workings of Local 52 has made this, I feel like maybe we would have had a stronger response to this if we, weren't being sued to oblivion. Sorry, let's take a sip again. But yeah, this affects everybody. Not just the writers, not just the actors, but guys like me who do the grunt work, or even the families of the people that need that money. And this is freelance too. Like, this is you go where you're told to go, or you find a group of guys you like to work with and you try to stick with them as long as possible, because sometimes a check isn't guaranteed, and that's you could work like, I don't need to fucking explain. Like, there are people who work like decades of their lives check to check when you're working in a freelance union, and that gets to a lot of people. And it's a living, but it's no way to live. So yeah, lots of bullshit, lots of active, this malicious mask off, totally flippant with people's lives that are not in the upper crust. It's like I said on the last stream, it's disappointing, but this shouldn't be surprising at all. And I don't want you guys taking like my you know, tone that I'm taking with this thing as defeatist. It's not. You know, the work just gets harder every day. And that's, I think, that's kind of what you expect when you try to work for, especially advocating for labor rights and, accessibility to benefits and, benefits of being in a union. And then, people who have the money and power to do so do this, where, they want people to cross the line. They want people to cross the picket line. They want people to, they want enough people to take the job out of desperation in order for the standard to be set when the negotiations come back. It's such a poisonous situation. And TV, film, if you think the shows are getting worse, it's because they are. And it's because of the internal rot. It's the rot from the head down. Right here. So yeah, I don't need to, oh, Jesus. Mary, Joseph, hang on. I'll tell you right now, this is why this stream is a positive vibes encouraged stream. Not positive vibes only, because that's toxic positivity, in my opinion, my honest opinion. Yeah, as opposed to an dishonest opinion, in which case, I got a bridge to sell you in Arizona that also is a Bitcoin farm. Shoehorn two turns of phrase at once. I think that might have been illegal. In which case, I apologize. And to the internet authorities, I'll say, what are you gonna do? Arrest me? I'll just whip out the ukulele, and then everything will go away. It's a part of my master plan. All right. So while we're drawing, I want to talk about this only because I had this in the tank for a little bit. Should probably turn my vibrator off. Clipped. Yeah, I want to cover this only because I've had this in the tank for a couple days. Because I saw the video title and I had a good chuckle. I had a good laugh. All things considered. So let me get this up on screen real quick. Let's go to desktop capture. Let's go to bam. Okay, so anybody know because I'm, relatively new to the space, right? I'm not entirely familiar with the lore, hashtag the lore of the online left. I don't know who this Soul Bunny person is, but they came up in my feed. And the title of this video is called The White Leftist Industrial Complex, and I said to myself, well, gosh darn, the White Leftist Industrial Complex, look at my PFP. I'm white. I'm all white. It's all white. Should be canceled for that joke alone, and I apologize. I don't know what came over me. But yeah, what got me about this is that, they're implying that I should be making money hand over fist because I'm, cisgendered, white, and straight as the crow flies. So that means the money should be rolling in, right? I should have like 1 million followers by now. It's just, I don't know. Because I don't want to cover lefty drama. So I guess just to get myself clear, like I'm only going to do this shit once. All right? Like I really don't want this to be the the crux of the stream, which is like, look at all the other shitheads doing, this, that, and the other. Yeah, I want to watch this. I want to watch this. I want to see what their point is. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm, coming at this too aggressively. Again, because I don't know. I don't know the lore. They may be right. I've got no clue. I'm like a wee bab here. A bab in the woods. Let me get this up here. I always close this window out in XSplit. It's freaking killing me here. Alright. See if I can't not have it block my head. There you go. This is what you came for, baby. Came to see the guy. The boy. Right here in front of you. On your maybe TV screen. I don't know. Is anybody watching on a TV? That would be pretty dope. So yeah, let's see what this Soul Bunny person has to say, and we're gonna draw the next comic at the same time. Kill two birds with one stone here. All right, hold on. Make sure everybody knows. That, and I'm just trying to get my window straight. All right, everybody been sufficiently warned? Is everybody ready? I'm not going to hear any complaints. Nobody's going to be surprised. All right. Now my phone's not on vibrate anymore. All right, Soul Bunny. What are you going to say for yourself here? Oh, I don't want to cover, so I'm just gonna, see if I can't cover, come down a little bit. Nope. I guess we're just doing it like this. Very well. Very well. All right.
To some, the title of this video will be seen as hyperbolic. I and many other people of color.
Alright, I'm going to throw this out there. I am not a big fan of video essays. And I understand there's streamer and essay, quote-unquote, essay bro. Or debate bro and video essayist, excuse me. See, it's weird. It's weird to talk about with people who aren't online. That's why I find this so, I find this shit truly counterproductive. Like I feel like how I can contribute, in one way, not every way, because I can't just limit myself to one way. But I grew up with political cartoons. I think if you make something that's funny but doesn't punch down, people will listen to you. And, the whole funny as a, if it's funny, it's right, is something I want to talk about also, maybe on another day, depending on how, Jesus, Mary and Joseph, this video is 47 minutes? Maybe. I don't know how long, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to do, the video like this. Anyway. Yeah. Do I make fun of people on my comic? You bet. But sometimes I make fun, sometimes I have fun. Like the Vosh comic, I have fun. Like, cause I like Vosh. I think he's cool. I think the takes he has is really good. I think his approach to talking to young men, I think is something really important and helps break into the normie space. I think a lot easier, and I think a lot more effectively than, shouting down little kids that probably literally don't know any better. Yeah, that's what I was talking about on our last stream. Talking to people and not at them. I feel like when a video essayist, just by the nature of the medium, it just feels like you're talking at somebody. And, you know, in order for a correction, there needs to be like another video, or, you know, God forbid when they start streaming. I mean, I don't know. That's why I don't like video essays online, and maybe not all video essays, like the Swoop drama documentaries. They're good. She puts a lot of work into those, and they're cool. They're fun to listen to when I'm just like, you know, warming up, drawing, having a cup of coffee in the morning. But you know, on this stuff, I think I would rather see two people engage with something, not so much in a debate format, because that can only go so far. Uh, I like conversations. Like, I loved when Sam Cedar went on that friggin' that like finance bro podcast. I have no idea. I apologize. I have no idea what it is. Um, but yeah, you know, despite despite all their disagreements, you know, they still end up talking to each other. Now, keep in mind, the finance bros were, you know, wrong on nearly either wrong on nearly everything or half right on some points, which is kind of the, you know, conservative modus operandi, excuse me, to kind of run on something that's like almost accurate and then spin it. That's how I think it's easier to trap people that don't really know any better or haven't really looked into it, because, you know, who's got the time? And that's not being flippant. You know, some people really just like they're really busy. They're not on the. And I mean by they're not on the internet. That's what I mean by busy. Like, because they could still advocate for stuff like this and just not be online. So let me rephrase: not busy, just not online. That being said, some people like do need hobbies. It's my fucking water. I have it right now. See, I have it right below me, thinking like, well, if I knock it over, I'm gonna spill water on the fucking thing, and then the stream will really be over. I'd rather get flack for drinking on microphone. Oh, anyway.
And queer folks don't see it that way, due to our understanding of life.
All right, super spicy hot take. This I think most Tumblrina like art like this is totally like, I think there's too much of it, or rather, or maybe I'm wrong and I just happen to find like I have like a confirmation bias, but I think like this style, particularly like the half Steven Universe, half Revolutionary Girl Utna, uh, like, you know, I love the soft watercolor. Like, yeah, like maybe I need to see this in completion, and I'll have my mind changed, because I really can't make a true judgment on the art until it's finished. So, you know, I'll retract that. But the one thing I will say is that, you know, 90% of art like this, just, I don't know, I find it like I find it totally derivative. Huh. Not to say it's bad. It's not bad at all. It's just I don't like it.
Leftism with the intersectional lens. Leftism that isn't based in intersectionality is upholding white supremacy.
Correct.
It ignores the BIPOC contributions such as microaggression coined by Chester Pierce in 1970 to intersectionality from Kimberly William Crenshaw in 1989. So much of American life.
What does that mean? Like, we're not quoting it by doctrine? Like it's doctrine? Like, I don't know. I don't know what that means. Let's inquire.
Leftism is based on the collective fight against systematic racism that Black, Indigenous, Latine, and others have been on the front lines of. Knowing who Angela Davis is, but not reading or applying her calls to be anti-racist is grifting at best. Before I go further, let's break down what the white leftist industrial complex looks like. The white leftist industrial complex consists of varying traits, behaviors, and dog whistles. Commonly, you'd see them feeling vindicated when pushing misinformation, attacking the very Black and queer people that correct their colonizer approach. Having an inflated ego.
Excuse me, sorry, I just realized I had the video. Try to get rid of the friggin' border here. It's driving me nuts. There we go. Sorry about that, gang. Because I saw it too. It was driving me bonkers. Like this, that little bar here. It's like, oh my god. I hope it's. I think it's driving somebody else crazy too. Let me fix that. Okay, we're good. It's fixed. Let's I'm gonna go back a little bit because I missed just an itty bitty piece. I want to get all of it.
To intersectionality from Kimberly William Crenshaw in 1989. So much of American leftism
I know
is
him.
Collective fight against systematic
I don't know
racism
her.
that Black,
I don't know him.
Latino, and others have
I know
been
that guy.
front lines of. Knowing
I know
who
him.
Angela Davis is, but not reading or applying her calls.
I don't know them.
Before I go
Oh,
further,
the
let's break down what the
Saundra
white
Avalon.
leftist industrial complex looks like. The
Lay it
white
on me.
leftist industrial complex consists of varying traits, behaviors, and dog whistles. Commonly, you'd see them feeling vindicated when pushing misinformation, attacking the very Black and queer people that correct their calls.
I want to see what they're talking about. But starting with that is, I don't know, it seems a little vague. You know, it's like, are they being racist or are they just telling you that you're wrong in a way that you don't like? Well, let's continue because I don't know what they're talking about here. I'm going in this blind. Just if anybody's just catching it.
Colonizer approach. Having an inflated ego when discussing BIPOC issues, focusing more on appearing to be correct than actually having a true understanding. Blindly pushing right-wing narratives in terms like woke schooled and identity politics. It's more.
I don't agree with that. Those aren't exclusively right-wing terms. They're abused by the right wing. They use it to spin the narrative. The only thing is that it just seems, unfortunately, that you fell for it. And even then, you know, it doesn't... It says to me that there's no, like, further inflection or further, like, introspection on the word itself. It's just, if a racist person uses it, it's bad. Which, you know, again, yes and no. That requires an actual dissection of the word. That requires, like, you actually having to look at it and think about it. I mean, woke school, that's what you're doing right now. You're using your position, not position, but you're using your platform to, you know, scold or talk at people that don't agree with you, expecting you to think that if they look at this, they'll be educated despite you taking already an aggressive tone. It just immediately turns people off. It doesn't seem as if, you know, it immediately seems to me like you're not interested in unity, you're interested in picking a fight. And I think there's a difference. But I'm not letting this person finish, so I apologize for that.
Common than not for them to lack tangible connections with the communities they state to advocate for, usually only surrounding themselves with other white people, but some might have their token BIPOC that they weaponize against people.
What happened? Was that a cut? What happened? Whatever.
Of color. If I were to limit my description to a handful of words and phrases, I'd say arrogant, cognitive dissonance, insufficient contrition, argumentative, ruthless, and self-serving. This can make doing work with them very difficult with their consistent struggles with allyship, lacking proper etiquette in BIPOC-led spaces, wanting to be the loud.
What does that mean? Let you steamroll people when you're wrong, and people when telling you that you're wrong and try to talk to you about it, and you did you take a tone like you're ready to fight? I don't know. Like I'm not. Vibes are off, chat. I'm not liking this.
In the room. Surely in 2023, we should be able to expect so much more.
Stop. Enough. It's so overly rehearsed. And all the sincerity has been sapped out at this point already, and we're only in the first 2 minutes Oh my god, why did I do this? Alright, I gotta keep going. Oh, fuck.
Queer left us. I and others are done entertaining their strawmans and moving forward spending our time on genuine leftist causes like combating Cop City, anti-trans bills, and the
And all the time you're spending making a video, cutting the edits, listening to yourself talk for hours and hours and hours to put together a video essay that will only reach the people who are terminally online. I don't know. Calls seem to be coming from inside the house.
demonization of woke. I can keep this going all day, but let's get into this caucasity. Before I dive in, I need to define some terms and give some context for the foolishness you'll hear. Woke school, genderqueer, and identity politics, shortened to IDPOL, are dog whistles that they enjoy weaponizing against
I don't agree.
marginalized people. Woke school being an offshoot of woke used disingenuously by right-wingers. Like Erykah Badu said, it's just another way to say black or thug, let alone woke.
No, you're just making you're by woke scolding, what they mean by that is that you're making assumptions of people's opinions and then, attacking them for having a perceived opinion. There's a sense of moral superiority. That's what turns people off. So you don't there are plenty of ways you could use woke in a term that doesn't mean you're racist. I can't think of anything other than, the right saying woke all the time, because that's what the right does, is that they take the word and twist it around and, poison the well for everybody else using it. It's a manipulation tactic. But that's to further, feed the illusion that the right has a point, in which they don't. That's why they use it. But to be woke means that you see the inherent problems within society and, acting on fixing it throughout any which way you can. So, that's how I can think of using it without, being racist, because you don't have to be. I think there's just a lot of assumptions here that aren't very constructive. Again, this is only 2 fucking minutes. Alright, I gotta fucking stop. I'm a comic to draw. Jesus fuck.
Woke being AAVE.
That is true. That is true.
It has different meanings person to person. But the way I see it used is equivalent to a queer version of woke school. Lastly, IDPOL, or better known as identity politics, is the most mask-off racist term used by these flocks.
I disagree.
The civil rights movement is identity politics.
Yes, it is.
Fighting for the right for gay marriage in 2015 is identity politics.
It
the
is.
fight for Roe v. Wade is identity politics. Black trans people fighting to combat the disgusting reality of our high murder rate is identity politics. We don't have to be class reductionist to expect change that lacks the intersection of race, gender, and sexual orientation.
But that wasn't class reductionist, though. That's not excusing behavior. I think class reductionism would just be like, oh, it's okay to be racist towards your Mexican neighbor because your job went away. It's okay to be, that's why he's racist. And that's, it's delving your toes into the moral, moral relativity realm, in which I'm not down with. Morals are not relative. Bad, good things are good, bad things are bad. I think this person might have gotten a little confused, but whatever. Let's see. Let's keep going.
Oh, this is gonna be great. You just got here. Are we spreading misinfo? Yeah, I'm doing gay ops on Tinder queers by encouraging my I'm encouraging my followers to make pick crew accounts and
I don't even know what that is.
Infiltrate tenderqueer Twitter. Because once they catch wind of the plan that we're using pick crews to infiltrate tenderqueer Twitter, they're going to all become incredibly suspicious of pick crews and they will eat each other alive.
But what does that mean? Maybe I'm not equipped to maybe I'm not equipped to handle this sort of advocacy because I have absolutely fuck all to know what the hell they're talking about. Like, is it me? Am I just a big dummy? And I'm also like I don't even watch a lot of Keffel stuff, and like even I think it's a joke. I don't think she was being serious. Like,
Does it matter which pick crew? No, just use a random one. But the more diverse, the better. Like, make it like a black butch lesbian with like, I don't know.
Caught up on terms.
I don't think she was being serious.
Events with all the anti-trans bills and even Joe Biden failing trans people, I felt it was only right to first cover the white queer community.
Even Joe Biden failing people. What, you assumed he was going to be some champion of the trans rights? Come on.
These are queer people who are in mostly white spaces and lack the interest of changing that. They may know of intersectionality, possibly sharing infographics about them.
What does that
mean? The
mean?
problem lies with them not applying intersectionality to their leftism. Assuming that being queer means they don't have to talk about their white privilege, taking an all lives matter approach to trans issues as they continue to not acknowledge black and brown trans people.
Wait, but
they use the trans murder rate to advocate for themselves, while they ignore the fact that over 3/4 of trans murders are black trans people.
I'm sure that's
Black
what they
trans people are
included.
ignored by the media. We also have to overcome job discrimination, food insecurity, lack of housing,
Yeah.
and overall, we're underserved. The overwhelming data has always been
yeah,
there,
that
but
is
the
right.
urgency still isn't there from cis and queer white people. We also notice the trans people of color they do embrace usually have to be cis-passing. Another hurdle is the weaponization of respectability politics against black trans people, which is why it's still mostly black trans people forced to advocate for ourselves.
But you're going on about hold up. Wait.
Murdered within the last 2 weeks.
Wait, but that's what you're doing.
Be cis-passing. Another hurdle is the weaponization of respectability politics against.
But that's what you're doing. You're saying that people are being rude to you. Like, when you say things like woke scold and, what did they say? It was woke scold and, another fucking thing. This is awful. This is awful. Like, this is not, like... What's losing me here is just the sort of, fuck you, I'm right attitude. And I think that would turn, like, I still want to watch and keep going because I think that just comes with the territory as far as the left goes. But for some people, they know it comes with the territory and they're turned off by this rhetoric. But, you ask anybody, they'll say, yeah, I want trans people to have the same amount of rights. It's like some weird, whatever. It's gonna melt my fucking brain.
Against black trans people, which is why it's still mostly black trans people forced to advocate for ourselves.
But
as of right now,
that's what it is.
There's
Okay.
been 2 black trans women murdered within the last 2 weeks.
That's what it's saying. But you're saying that things that are common terms that can be used by the right to manipulate their messaging. That doesn't mean that it's racist to say these words. I just think, again, I think you just were told that you were wrong in a language that you didn't like. I don't agree with this. I'm sorry.
Weeks. Yet the white trans community, along with the media,
although this is awful,
support or sense of urgency they give to our white counterparts. Have you ever?
Which the lack of urgency is true. To give her credit, you could see it in the Young Turks, the Young Turfs now. That there is a lack of urgency, and she is right about that. But that doesn't give her an excuse to be like, to do this dumb shit.
Thought of how many black trans folks we wouldn't have to bury. if we had a collective understanding of intersectionality. It can't be mainly white trans people being celebrated, embraced, financially supported, and having access to success. It shouldn't take 10 black trans activists to equal out to one white trans public figure.
Yeah.
Y'all aren't doing enough to uplift and empower us as the numbers show. There's much more I can say, but I'll save that for a future video. Having the context we need, let's jump into this queer caucasity. During Black History Month, 16-year-old Brianna Gay was fatally stabbed by 2 other minors. Kayleen, a fellow trans creator, made a very powerful video on Brianna Gay. This video gave the needed tone and the raw and real breakdown.
It's just grief like flayed and then displayed because I don't know how else to process. I don't know what else to do. Like, what are we supposed to say? What are we supposed to do? She was 16. She was 16, and for years she was being bullied and harassed.
Which is awful.
And then Brianna Gay was stabbed to death by 2 other kids in broad daylight. A whole life gone. Maybe not a perfect one, but it was hers to live as she chose, or it should have been. I'm not going to make any claims about the motives of the killers. I'm not going to speculate on circumstances. Here are the facts. Every day, anti-trans narratives are being pushed by the media by disgusting anti-trans activists like J.K. Rowling, Graham Linehan, Kelly J. Keane, Matt Walsh, and organizations like LGBT Alliance or Libs of TikTok. Constant articles, videos, tweets, books, press conferences, news segments saying trans people are bad, trans people are dangerous, trans people are predators, they're sick, disgusting fetishists who exist only to harm women and children. An existential threat to humanity deserving of nothing but disdain and disgust, inhuman, expendable, worthless. Even in the coverage about Brianna being violently murdered, she's shown the maximum amount of disrespect and discrimination. The Times, shortly after their original article that referred to Brianna as a teenage girl, updated it to remove the references to her being a girl, changing teenage girl to transgender teenager, and adding in her dead name.
Yeah, that was awful. I did hear that, and that was really bad, but that is also, that's the English press for you. That's the British press. Absolutely scum of the earth. Awful.
Brianna's family released a statement.
Brianna was a much-loved daughter, granddaughter, and baby sister.
Yeah.
She was a larger-than-life character who would leave a lasting impression on all that met her. Brianna was beautiful, witty, and hilarious. Brianna was strong, fearless, and one of a kind. The loss of her young life has left a massive hole in our family, and we know that the teachers and her friends who were involved in her life will feel the same.
Hashtag Say Your Name started trending due to mostly white queer people using it for Brianna Gay. This phrase / hashtag was created by and for black women who
Wait.
violence like Sandra Bland and Breonna Taylor. We requested them to use other hashtags like Her Name is Brianna. Black people that spoke up were being harassed.
Oh, come on! Really? No. This shit I don't like. If you need an intersectional movement, why are you cutting out one of the most effective messages? Like, say her name works here. She was a trans woman. Say her name. A trans woman was killed. Yeah, I think people have been using it to cover trans deaths, period. Because they don't get covered enough. You talk a big game about intersectionality, yet you just excluded a whole bunch of people by telling them to use another term. Like, who the fuck are you? Like, I'm not a trans person, but it's still, I wouldn't want someone telling me how to fucking grieve. Leave me alone. Who the fuck do you think you are? Jesus. And I want to make this clear, too. I'm not saying this shit. Like, who do you think you are? Because I think, she's a woman, she's stepping out of line. I don't think that at all. I think you're not the arbiter of trans rights. Like, nobody is. That, you don't set the rules. advocacy without, you're doing it without any inclusivity towards a group of people that you don't like. That's not how a movement works. You have to try to convince everybody to get on board. It's just it's bullshit. It's bullshit. This is woke scolding.
Harassed, dogpiled, and called psyops by the racist white trans community.
Right, see, all right, I pegged it. I pegged it in the first few minutes. You said a term I didn't like about me, and now I'm upset, and I don't take any accountability for my views because you're racist, and fuck you. It's like, no intersectionality, no accountability, just bullshit. Absolute bullshit.
This meant escalated when our trans comrade Jessie Gender used her platform to speak up. Like the Avengers, racist white trans people came together to silence Jessie, who was merely showcasing her intersectionality. Jessie is the sweetest and most understanding person known to LeftTube. This is alarming to see so many from the queer community harass and uphold white supremacy in the name of what? White entitlement? It's a damn shame to have our most charitable comrades harassed out of their skin for standing up for black women. This can't keep happening.
What did she say?
And learn from these queer clan rallies.
What?
It's basically just using the aesthetics of a foreign culture.
What?
Women. This can't keep happening. Veritable supremacist known to was merely showcasing her interest. The Avengers.
Please use dignity for Brianna instead of the hashtag say her name to mourn Brianna Gay. Jesse, Miss Earl, why are you speaking for black people when you're not a black person? If I'm using your logic against you, that hashtag was made for black folk. Again, who made you the fucking arbiter of a movement to say certain things? Who made you the fucking boss? This is... You want to talk about... this Soul Bunny character wants to talk about tone policing, and yet we're going to be watching 47 minutes of fucking tone policing. What is this?
Racist white trans people came together to silence Jessie, who was merely showcasing her intersectionality.
Oh, man. Yeah, everybody's racist. Whatever.
To LeftTube. This is alarming to see so many from the queer community harass and uphold white supremacy in the name of what? White entitlement? It's a damn shame to have our most charitable
Oh my god, this fucking overly scholar...
This can't keep...
This overly fucking scholarly voice, too, is so fucking condescending. When... You're upset about being wrong on the internet. Fuck you. For real.
Happening. We as a community need to reflect and learn from these queer clan rallies.
Oh, fuck you.
Using the aesthetics of...
You want to talk about uncharitability? What the hell do you think you're doing?
A foreign culture such that you can present yourself as sort of like someone who's cultured and expert on a culture that you're not a part of. It really does boil down to the economics of it all, simply because it's I'm going to talk about Ariana Grande because she's one of the biggest examples of someone who profits off of or otherwise gains social capital through the aesthetics of ethnic people. And
yeah, welcome to the pop industry.
The inciting incident for all of this streamer drama on my end.
Here's the problem too, that shit's not just exclusive to Ariana Grande. That is a cancer within the entertainment industry as a whole. It's capitalism you want to, get rid of here. You don't hate white people, you hate capitalism. That's the point here.
Not drama, but, harassment campaign. I didn't even say the words cultural appropriation. I didn't even say the words white supremacy. And a bunch of white people just kind of read into, what was, a tweet that I posted at, 9 p.m. on a Sunday while stoned out of my face. And they added all of...
No fucking accountability. Why are you harassing me? Why are you making fun of me? I'm just gonna fucking write a stupid ass tweet. I don't even know what the tweet is because she's such a, the Soul Bunny's such a brave person. She doesn't have the, she doesn't have the tweet in question here or any links or anything. I just have to take her fucking word for it. It's wild. Wild bullshit.
This outrage, and they projected all of this outrage onto me that I didn't have. Cultural appropriation comes down to the issue of economics, where it's who gets to profit off of these cultures and who does not. I'll start from like the very beginning. Back in August 2021, it was my nephew's birthday. We were in the second year of the pandemic. I was, at my desk scrolling, and I was on urbanoutfitters.com. I saw this cookbook titled Dumplings and Noodles. It was about Asian like steamed buns and Asian noodles and all that. And I was like, oh, that's cool. It was like, oh, this is interesting. Like maybe I can get an idea from it. But then I saw the author's name, Pippa Middlehurst. That doesn't sound like an Asian woman. That sounds like a white lady from Britain. So in that context, I was just kind of like, not again. Like, why is this such a common occurrence where
Hold up,
I'll
what?
try to look for something like about Asian food, and it's like these white people kind of like presenting their expertise. So me being me,
What's wrong
I
with
just
that?
kind of took a screenshot and like a screenshot of the author and put it on my Twitter and kind of laughed at it. And then I went to bed, and I had a bunch of emails, like more than usual. And then there was one I
Who's
remember that
talking?
said, you're just jealous of white women because they're sexy. And I looked.
Put a picture
and
up of them,
why
Soul
would a white
Bunny.
woman
Who's?
write a
Thank
cookbook
you.
about dumplings
Oh,
and
this
noodles?
person. Why did a white woman write a cookbook about dumplings and noodles? Maybe because she knows about dumplings and noodles. Why can't she write a book about, cooking noodles good? What? Why did a white woman write a cookbook about dumplings and noodles? Are they good? Hold on. God damn it, really fucking taking me away from what I wanted to do here. Guys, this is why I don't want to cover this shit. Because it's keeping me from doing more important shit with my time, like drawing. Now I gotta not... Now I have fallen into the trap of not wanting to be wrong on the internet, so... Pippa Middlehurst. Okay, here's from the Independent. Pippa Middlehurst on noodle science, her new cookery school, and finally knowing which soy sauce to buy. Former cancer research speaker speaks to Anna Twigs about her first cookbook. Obsessing over recreating the much-loved Asian food from her childhood. Okay, well, that sounds pretty good to me. That sounds like somebody who has a real love for Asian cuisine, to try their hand at it and try to do it well and do it right. So let's read the article here. There she is, pulling show nudes. You tell them to send nudes and they give you this. Oh, very funny. A funny joke. Okay, let's see here. At one point or another, most of us in lockdown have tried out a new recipe and failed. Probably you didn't bring your sourdough. I never did this. I didn't make sourdough. I ordered food because I was too depressed to cook and I was too busy playing Animal Crossing. 2 years ago, Middlehurst swapped her lab coat for an apron. Okay. Even appeared on and won the first series of Britain's Best Home Cook. Alright, well that's cool. Science is comforting for me in a way, and I think that has really helped me in cooking, because if I understand what's happening from a scientific perspective inside the food, if something goes wrong, I can change it. Well, that seems pretty responsible. It's exactly what she aims to educate. Okay, so yeah, I wouldn't have known this Chinese alkaline solution to put in noodles in order to make them bond well, I would have no idea. Like, this probably took a lot of time and research. Middlehurst admits she wrote the book with her past self very much in mind. One of the things I struggled with most was completely overwhelmed by Asian ingredients. Okay, now we're getting the good shit. If you go to an Asian supermarket, there are 7 to 10 different types of soy sauce, and Chinese soy sauces are different to Japanese ones. Okay. I feel like if she was just like, yeah, throw this shit in a pot and see what happens, I don't think she would have had putting in so much care to, you know, to do something what other people would probably just find trivial, which is, the right soy sauce. So that's what I think. I was kind of writing it for me, but 10 years ago, because this sort of information I wish it had been compressed and made accessible. Okay. Bit more time. The book truly is really suitable for those looking for a quick fix and those after a deeper dive into the cuisine. It'll serve cooking. Okay, went out for dim sum with her dad. That's pretty dope. She struggled to recreate the authenticity she had experienced in dim sum. It was always too, it's always too sweet, or just not the same, which makes sense. Hi, Bob. Shay's here. Hi, Bubba. We're talking about noodles. Yeah? What do you think? What do you think about noodles? Hi, Bob. She turned to Asian chefs Ken Hom, Ching Huang, and Fuchsia Dunlop for inspiration. That's where I learned most of... Oh, hang on a sec. My dog, Shay, who I love very, very much, got slobber on my wind cover, on my microphone. Now he's just waddling on over, waddling on over to his bed. Sauntering off to the next activity, or lack thereof. But I still found it difficult to know which brand of soy sauce, or why am I using it, or where to get it. Okay, so... Okay. I think if this woman was just like, yeah, throw the shit in the pot, and who cares if it's not exactly right, but you're doing it your own spin. Put your own spin on it. That what I think is, disrespectful in a book where it's telling you, which fucking soy sauce to get. That, I don't think, is the mark of somebody who's culturally appropriating something. That's somebody who is dedicating their time and trying to pursue knowledge on a certain brand of Asian cuisine. I think that's admirable, coming at it from a scientific approach. I think coming at something like this from a scientific approach and breaking it down bit by bit and getting, every single thing of a recipe just right, I think actually shows the most care that you could possibly put into something like that. So I think, like most of the points made here. Oh, this is a reference for the comics we're doing, which is back over in here. Oh, sorry. Talking to the camera. I'm on my laptop, so I just wibble wobbled a little bit. We're good. We're all right. Yeah. So to answer her question, why did a white woman write a cookbook about dumplings and noodles? Because she trained in finding out how. Excuse me. That's how I know the segment is bad. It's giving me gas. Yeah. She wrote the book on dumplings and noodles because she knows how to make the noodles taste good. And I would suggest you look inward when you're like, why is the Asian lady not making Asian food? I only thought Asian people can make Asian food. I better do something to broaden my horizons. I'm not going to tell you what to do, though. It's just a fun suggestion, Miss Rosling. Just a fun suggestion.
Had got a lot of traction, and there were a lot of race.
Or maybe you should, if you're going to do something, do it with purpose. Do it with intent. Don't use the funny drug to, not take responsibility for the shit you put out on the internet. Just don't do it. Whatever. Again, who am I to tell you what to do?
Comments in the replies.
Yeah, because it probably just called you dumb.
Waking up to find that I'd been harassed out of my skin.
Oh my god.
Had I known that my tweet had made it onto 4chan, I probably wouldn't have said anything. I just would have ignored it. Eventually, there were people just
I think that was the lesson
Twitter
here.
Feed, replying to anything I replied to, harassing my mutuals and my followers. And I was like, what the hell is going on? In the quote tweets, there were, guys who were talking about,
my pen is too
bringing a
fat.
storm, talking about white genocide. This very, segregationist,
You know what? I have an
basically
idea.
neo-Nazi stuff. And
What?
That was super concerning.
I mean, yeah, especially on Twitter, criticisms towards people are gonna, some of them are gonna lean very racisto, or just not, not in good faith. But you can't assume that for every single response to something. I think you're assuming. And you know what happens when you assume, right? You look like a big jerk. All right, let's go.
I logged off, and the next day, I woke up to the author of the cookbook kind of trying to clap back at me for what I wrote about her. As the harassment kept escalating, I got more and more upset. I locked down my account for about a week. The harassment was that bad. I was still getting emails. I was getting comments, Facebook writers page. I was getting nasty DMs. The discourse reached Jesse Single Twitter. It reached John Kay. It reached Barry Weiss. I was on the Daily Mail because I apparently said it's racist to eat noodles, which I obviously didn't.
No, you didn't say that. You said that it's racist, rather it's cultural appropriation for a white woman to make a cookbook on noodles. Again, you made an assumption. And yes, people who do not have the best intentions turn it around on you. But maybe after this kerfuffle, maybe the lesson here is to take responsibility for the things that you tweet. You're going to convince people through what? Osmosis that, oh, it was just a joke, guy. Tee-hee. I was just choking on the marijuana smoking. At best, now I just don't think you're a very serious person. At worst, you just dumb as a rock.
Thing. The Babylon Bee covered it.
Also, my pen is too fat. I love using the broken micron, but not to sketch out. Oh, looks like I'm going to have to give myself a mulligan here. No, don't. Yeah, we're just gonna start that one again. Let me pull it up quick. Because I'm trying to sketch the, obviously I'm trying to do the sketching of the bodies first. But my problem is I just go right for the, for the broken micron, which is this one. And I love this pen. This is from, I believe, yes, this is from Retro Supply Company, the broken micron. And that's usually for the first, oh, excuse me. For the first few comics of Super Steam World, I used the Broken Micron to do the outlines. But if I do it sketching the models, the bodies like this, I feel like ultimately I feel like I'm just gonna confuse myself because I need I need something a little lighter. It just feels like everything's just like, oh, of course I gotta turn the mouse off on me here. Oh, well, that's garbage. All right, well, never mind. I guess I can't get my mouse out of here. We'll find a way. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go for like a pencil, to do the sketches of the bodies.
The who's who of the far right transphobe Twitter. Obviously, it reached the white streamer corner of Twitter, which is comparable. Had started circulating this meme that said Pippa Middlehurst was actually an Asian adoptee, and that's why she was publishing this cookbook.
That's
These
ridiculous.
people had to make up lies to kind of paint this picture that I was just some racist Asian woman, saying that white people couldn't do this, white people can't do that. There was a lot of projection on me. There was a lot of words being put in my mouth that I did not say and did not care to elaborate on.
It's very telling that the same white leftist that has a history of going after people of color joined the right-wing 4chan dogpile, pushing the same strawmans and reaches when Rosalind never said it was racist to make dumplings. It's
one thing I will say, great music. Big fan of the Silent Hill music. So good choice from Soul Bunny here.
The fact that they had to lie on Rosalind to find a justification of the harassment going on. 4chan literally made her cookbook a #1 bestseller in Asian cooking on Amazon.
Keffels wasn't as big at the time, but she had also piled on. So Keffels was quote tweeted it at the end.
She didn't pile on. It's just you asked a question and she answered it. That's not dogpiling. That was answering your question, which is my answer, because noodles are tasty and Pippa made the noodles good. I want to learn how to make the noodle good. So if it's accessible to me like that, I'm gonna buy it. For somebody, talking about racist assumptions, they're sure making some racist assumptions.
End of everything, and I didn't know who she was. But about a year later,
same lady, I don't know who you are.
Had piled on to the original discourse.
It's not pile on. She answered your question.
Now I knew who she was by that point. And it was the first time I saw her tweet where she was just because noodles are tasty. I was just that's the whitest thing I've ever seen. I can't believe.
Oh, knock it off!
Purported white leftist who ratios transphobes or whatever also added on to this 4chan harassment campaign of me. That's rich. So
no. Because not only did Keffels answer you, she also did it in a way that made you look a little silly. You want to talk about accountability and, all this stuff. This is, you just maybe not comfortable missing the mark on that one. To which the only advice I could give you is take the L. Just take it. It's fine. It's only one. It's not the worst thing. Again, we covered this on the last stream. It's okay to be wrong on the internet. It's okay. People want to see growth and change, and they want to see people learn without hurting anybody else or making assumptions that or making racist assumptions or any other which way but loose. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Like, I took a screenshot of it and I posted it simply with like the caption, "Quite interesting." And somehow,
Oh, shut the fuck up!
quite
What a fucking dishonest baby. You know, Rosalind, again, did no research into this lady, thought immediately white lady bad, white lady racist, which, it's unfortunately, it's an easy assumption to make, but that doesn't mean it's right. Clearly, because, not only were you wrong, but in doubling down, you made yourself look like a fucking idiot. And now you're using both. I just did this as a little ha ha hoo hoo, a tee hee, a fun tea joke, and using harassment and bullying as a way to avoid taking accountability for your bad take. This doesn't do anything. This is not, advocacy. This is fluff. This is paper card. This is a house of cards in a windstorm. Doesn't hold.
interesting. And somehow, like a day later, Keffels found it, and she quote tweeted me, and the harassment campaign amped up again.
Oh my fucking god! You don't post it then. Stop posting. Hold on. I have a solution to this. I have a solution to this Rosalind character's problem. I don't know. Now I don't know if I can. I don't know if I want to post it because I don't want this being taken the wrong way. there is this one. Hold on. There's this one. Feels. I mean, the original post was this, and in the Impact meme font it says "Stop posting." But, that assumes that I don't want people to assume that the answer to this is violence, because it's not. Violence is no bueno. But that GIF was very funny.
In her same, like, in the same thread where she quote tweets me, she's like, Rosalind is just doing this to, like, get attention because
Correct.
I have a much bigger account. Like, I don't see
Correct.
the problem with what I said.
Which is why you assume it's harassment.
Rosalind is welcome to come on my stream and debate. You're setting me up, and I'm not falling for it.
Oh. Rosalind. Let's bring it in. You failed the punk test. You had a chance. You had a chance to go on and explain yourself, but you immediately thought it was a trap. And instead of it, that was clear. That was a clear olive branch being extended to you, and you whapped it away, and then continued to do this bullshit. I'm sorry, Rosalind. You failed. You have effectively failed the punk test. You are now a punk. And not in a fun let's go to a Ramones cover show. A dweeb. A poser. A poser. Ho ho ho. Poser. Yeah, it's not good.
And it was just like, she just proved my point in that entire like not exchange, but like in her quote
Exchange.
tweet of me, she like weaponizes her white woman tears because she thinks I was trying to cancel her, even though I was just making a joke with my followers like I was with the original tweet. I was harassed, like I had COVID that week, and I
Oh,
was just
shut the
trying
fuck.
to get over COVID.
Wee. 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 COVID. Wee. 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 What you mean to me? I didn't mean it. Wee. Wee. Ugh. Gross. Gross. No accountability. Big baby detected.
But instead I had to deal with the mass harassment that she sent my way.
Don't double down.
Because she was the one who needed engagement. She was the one who needed to basically start this drama.
Madam, you were just told you were wrong.
Like,
She didn't even tell you.
Like, look at this.
She didn't even tell you you were wrong. Like, whatever. I'm not reading that.
She relitigated that.
You responded to
we've been
her.
Dealing with these issues a decade, if not. Been a writer since like about 20. This wasn't the first time I've seen a white woman position herself as this expert on dumplings and noodles and trying to get all of this social capital and trying
Again, you don't know the story. You have shown no interest in the story of this woman and why she pursued the art. You know, you didn't know that she actually took a very scientific approach to making noodles. You were wrong on the internet, and you're crying about it.
build a platform on her so-called appreciation of quote-unquote Asian culture. It's not about can white people do this, white people can't do that, or else they're racist. It's, oh, we don't want to listen to the critiques of any marginalized person.
But what is the critique? But what's the critique? What is the critique you have? Which is why is a white woman like this is total incoherence. She's you know, this is crying. She's saying one thing and saying another, saying I'm not I'm not saying anything wrong, and I'm being harassed, and this harassment campaign is starting against me, even though I did no research on this person. I was disparaging, and I got clapped, and I didn't like that. And now everybody has to pay for it with my bullshit. Like, knock it the fuck off. For real.
Because it makes me feel bad. And you guys are questioning my moral integrity, and I don't like that. And I'm gonna use all of the power that I have to silence.
Keffels also ran a blockchain on anyone that liked, retweeted, and commented on the harassment. This was the first wave when Black trans Twitter got blocked en masse, making her space more insular and white. Once again, another moment showing white queers upholding white supremacy and refusing to apply an intersectional lens. Roslyn was spot on when she said it's easier for white people to identify with a white woman making an Asian cookbook than people of color.
Like, the reason I love your idea about doing this video is because it's a group effort. Because it illustrates like that pattern of what these white leftist streamers do and how they, you know, kind of weaponize their platform to just do racism on a daily basis for content. And it's like, if you like, especially
that's not
with
what
the white
happened,
queers, it's really frustrating because white supremacy and queerphobia, transphobia especially, like, it's all like intertwined, and they don't understand this. Like, everything's intertwined.
Yeah.
And white queers who are doing this, like, you know, doing racism for engagement bait, they don't understand how they're also shooting themselves in the foot. There was a part of me that wanted to believe that
you know, started this.
Proclaimed white leftists.
What
like,
is the
understood
criticism,
and, like, what my issue was? But at the same time, it's like, this is what white people do. They're going to circle the wagons and protect their own.
Oh
and
my
essentially
god. What a
protect themselves.
what a completely
I think because
dishonest
they are more,
approach to
I think
this
it's
take.
easier for them to identify with Pip and Middlehurst than it is to identify with, people like us. I think a lot, like, even in
That's not what
like,
happened.
progressive circles, I think racism is still kind of like a taboo topic for them, and they're very much like
No, it's
head in
not.
the sand.
No, it's not. You're not
racism
correct
ended
about
in the
this being a
90s
racist
kind
thing.
of thing. Disappointing that despite
It's not racist to call you incorrect on the internet. It's not racist to make fun of a dopey point. This is all whining.
everything that happened, like with the George Floyd protest, everything that happened with like hashtag Stop Asian Hate, like they still could not fathom why I would be making fun of a white woman who wrote a book about Asian dumplings and noodles.
No, they're making fun of you because
All
you
of these
didn't
white
do
people
any
and,
due
even
diligence
some
on
Asian
the
people
woman.
were
It's on the woman
basically
herself.
accusing me of attacking this innocent white woman.
You
who's
did.
just appreciating the culture, and
No, it's
it's
not
like,
much more than.
like these
No,
white
no, no, no,
people
no, no.
love
No,
this culture that
no.
we create. This culture,
No,
like
no. That's not what happened. She did her research. She asked professional chefs, professional Asian cuisine chefs on how to make these noodles. She studied it and put her knowledge in that book to make authentic Asian recipes more accessible to people who aren't Asian. Like, the arguments you're making for this being racist just don't make sense when you look at the history of this woman. But if you did, then you would have to admit, again, you would have to admit that you're wrong on the internet. And God help you if you do that.
these ethnic foods,
I guess.
these what television shows and movies, they love the aesthetic, they love the products that we put out.
Which
But
that is true.
if it were up to them, they would rather be the ones who are kind of like gatekeeping these cultures and presenting them in a way that's palatable for their like white friends, for their white audiences.
Right, but that's not
They
what
wanna
Pippa
be
did
the
here.
ones gaining the social capital. And it's crazy because these white leftists are supposedly anti-capitalist, but they don't and they can't see the issue that I was like kind of pointing out with my very unserious tweet. At the end of the day, it is a very like,
of course I've double clicked it. I hate this. My very unserious tweet. Well, if it was a very unserious tweet, you certainly had a serious response to this unserious tweet. So again, like what is going to make me convince? What are you going to do now to make me convince? Excuse me. Hold on. I need a little bit of water. This woman's giving me gas. Yeah, no, this is all. I lost my point. This is all whinging.
ego-based reaction for them to be like, oh, so white people can't cook noodles?
Yeah.
They're so quick to this like knee-jerk reaction, this like defensive reaction. It speaks volumes about their own principles and morals, where it's more important for them to
and now you're making a serious thing out of a supposedly unserious tweet. Here's what the point I was trying to make. Excuse me. Yeah, this editing is gonna be fun. Fucking what's it? What are you gonna say now that is gonna convince me that you're a serious person and that I should listen to your takes going forward? If one in every 4 tweets is gonna be a not serious one, and then when you get goofed on, you take it seriously. It doesn't become an unserious tweet anymore. It becomes content, for lack of a better term. So, yeah, it's both a serious point you're making, and yet treating it with the most dishonesty, the most dishonest way you could. So I don't like this.
Get their jokes in. It's more important for them to defend their right to be Asian food
Get their jokes in because you made an unserious tweet. Oh my god, what a fucking crybaby.
enjoyers or Asian food appreciators or whatever. I think what bothers me the most is that this one, or maybe two if they're disabled, this like one marginalization means that they're like completely infallible to any critique.
That's not what that means.
It means
You didn't have
only
one.
White people can be queer. Only white people can be disabled. Like I've seen so much of that on Twitter where it's like, how can I be racist? I'm literally queer. It shows like this fundamental misunderstanding of like intersectionality.
Yeah,
where
I'm
if you're
hearing it right
marginalized,
now.
It like gives you a pass or something. It's like a sticker that says like, I'm perfect. I'm oppressed, therefore I'm perfect.
This is what this, but
It's
that's
like
what you're
they're
doing
using it
right
as,
now.
like, a badge to say, "Oh, I'm progressive." Like my
That's what you're doing
marginalization means I'm
right
progressive.
now.
I can't be racist, and it means I'm perfect.
What?
And it means that I'm the most important person in the room because I'm so marginalized.
You're talking to yourself.
And, like, that, again, like it's like this white need, like this need to be the one voice in the room, or to be the voice in the room, or to be the most right. It fails to account for, you know, racialized people who are also queer, who are also disabled, who are otherwise marginalized in different ways.
You're doing the same thing, madam. You are projecting.
And a lot of it is like, so much of it feels like they're trying to avoid any opportunity to do any self-reflection. If you understand that you're marginalized by your queerness, by your disability, you understand, like, you have to understand.
I can say the same thing about you, only the root is that you have the sense of humor of a turnip. And you're not and when you are serious, you're not a serious person. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. This is just such a major loss here. Huge L. This video clip is lousy. With the L stands for lousy.
That all of these oppressive systems are rooted in white supremacy. And if you're not willing to reckon with white supremacy, you're not actually for liberation. What you're for is assimilating into the power structure that keeps racialized people at the bottom.
The avoidance of reflecting on their whiteness within the queer community is one of the biggest issues in our community. It's shown a lot of times.
So if you're white, shut up. Is that what you're saying to me, Soul Bunny? In which case, no. I'm going to hold you to the same account. I'm going to hold you to the same standard I would any content creator, especially a political one. Doesn't matter what denomination or what race you are. I'm here for the ideas, not the self-aggrandizing. And certainly not the bullshit. I don't take bullshit very well, as you can see.
When they can't hide behind their queerness to trans people of color. That's when you'll start hearing identity politics, woke scold, and oppression Olympics. That's when they run blockchains on intersectional posts to maintain their narrative and pedestal they place themselves on.
No, they just don't want dumb shit on their timeline.
While we're still here discussing the white queer community, I felt it was proper to end it off discussing this clip that I consider bad white queer literacy.
Yeah, the Hassan raid for a charity stream makes it like earn so much more money too. It's such a valuable gift.
Oh yeah, no, it was great. It sucks, like, the response to the charity stream was actually, like, very negative, which was crazy to me.
Why?
There was a lot of trans people who were trying to turn it into, like, into a bad thing, which was, like...
For what?
They were trying to say that it was entirely performative and I should have raised money to directly put into the PayPal accounts of black trans women. I'm not joking, like, this was an actual thing
I mean,
people were mad about.
if you did go down that road, I can see a lot of people getting really mad and being like, well, are you accountable? Do you have the receipts? Did every single person get, like, you know, how much money? How did you decide who gets it and who doesn't? You know, not to mention, like, if you want to use Tiltify, I think is the name of it, for raising money.
Yeah, it's like I didn't have access to the money, and also if I raised $200,000 on my own, and I would not only have to pay taxes, but I feel like they would be even more mad if I was like, hello, white trans woman here. It is time for me to decide which black trans women are worthy of this money I raised on your behalf. I am a savior of the black trans community. No, they would hate me for that. They wouldn't like that. They don't.
Yeah, because that's performative. I think Soul Bunny here got a little confused.
I don't want that.
In reality, black trans women that are being murdered at staggering rates don't give a damn what some random white person.
Don't fucking weaponize their deaths to make your stupid fucking point. If you have that much respect for the fucking dead, then stop bringing them up to get fucking brownie points with the terminally online. Cut it the fuck out. Jesus fucking Christ. Honor their memory. Leave them alone. Don't use their deaths to completely misread a situation and then project onto your audience. You know, telling them they're in the wrong when really you need to inflect when you're talking about yourself. This is wild. This is an entire 47 minutes of somebody telling on themselves. It's crazy.
Person on Twitter is saying we lack funding and support, period.
Yes,
Many of us
that
either
is
don't
right.
have Twitter,
but
let
that's
alone
why the
enough reach
charities
to be heard.
exist.
This clip also showed me that Keffels isn't in community with black trans folks, displaying how she cares more about how she appears than helping BIPOC trans people she states to be the CEO of.
Where's your fucking receipts, Soul Bunny? Spit them out. Where are they? Fucking... Again, who is this person? Who are you? What are you doing to get this message to the mainstream? Like, I'm a big dummy. Right? I'm brand new to this scene. Like, I've only started streaming maybe a couple months, like a month or two ago. I don't know who you are. And this is the impression you're giving me, is just you're crying over bullshit that you started. Look, what message does this send to normies except, you know, further the perception that we just eat our own? Like this, like, I hope I'm not misreading this, but I'm listening to everything this person says. I'm even not drawing. I stopped drawing, for God's sake. I stopped drawing to listen to this shit.
White leftists are not our allies. They are not our accomplices. They are not for liberation.
There you go. There's your intersectionality for you. That's how seriously she cares about intersectionality. They don't. This mentality, white people bad, is, you know, an inclusionary movement does not make. You know, even if I'm following your logic, if you don't appeal with unapologetically, by the way, and that's not saying to compromise your morals, but, you know, to fail to engage with the people that you perceive to be, you know, the societal ill. You're not interested in correcting the behavior, or you're not interested in engaging with it. You just want to be right on the internet. You know, you're not serious about justice. You don't want justice, you want retribution. So, or maybe she's having this thought while she's, you know, high out of her mind. You know, because that seems to be the excuse of the day, apparently.
They are for their own profit and for building their own social capital.
Where's my social capital? I should be rolling in likes. I should be swimming in attention, and I have 3 viewers. Just this shit doesn't happen by accident. I need to make inroads with these communities. Like, I'm very thankful for Demon Mama's community. Really, if I become, if this channel grows any bigger, it's going to be mostly because of, Demon Mama's Signal Night. That's important, and I'm a cisgendered straight white guy, and yet I'm welcomed in with open arms in that community because we all agree on the same thing: is that we're all fighting for equity. These people are doing the fucking oppression Olympics. You're the one complaining about intersectionality, yet no whites allowed. That's that you're segregating a civil rights movement, which it excluding a group of people like that lops a movement off at the knees. Jesse Jackson had the fucking Rainbow Coalition. Why do you think that almost worked? But the Rainbow Coalition was a popular sentiment, I believe. But, again, I'm going by assumptions. I'm going to see if that was popular. I'm going to get another set of eyes on this, gang. I'm going to make sure I'm right about this. Popularity, Rainbow Coalition. Oh, well, Jesse Jackson used it, but it was Fred Hampton originated that. The Fred Hampton, the Black Panther Party guy. A Rainbow Coalition from a militant black liberation group like the Black Panthers of the 60s. That's effective. That's why the FBI killed him, because he was right. Fred Hampton was onto something, and that's why they killed him. So that's why I take no stock in this, white people are, purely the enemy, and they don't belong in, an intersectional movement. That I think is the wrong approach to take. Doesn't make a movement. It makes a social club, and that doesn't do anything for transformative change. Just it just allows you to keep playing the victim and allow yourself to be victimized by the actual powers that keep you down, by fighting other people who are on your team and letting that power walk all over you because you're too busy fighting your friends.
And positioning themselves as the experts, as the, they're, like, this whole thing has just made me realize that, like, white people are not serious. The only thing they're serious about is this, like, individualist need to be visible, basically. To be the funniest in the room, to be the most, progressive in the room.
I already did that. I don't need to try. You understand? I don't need to try and be funny. I'm going by the ideas. The stream is all about ideas, whether I present them in a funny way or not. It's not the personality. It's the idea. You're making assumptions about people, and that's not right. It's a whole movement based on not judging books by their covers, except this person can do whatever the fuck she wants. Because she was stoned out of her gourd one night and made what she thought was a funny tweet. Stupid, childish, irresponsible. That's why I have such a reaction to this. That's why I don't like this shit. That's why I don't like the leftist drama nonsense. Because that's what it is. It's nonsense, and it's counterproductive. It doesn't do anything. It just makes me delay drawing my fucking comic. It keeps me on a character of Anna Kasparian, a caricature of Anna Kasparian for a half an hour, because I have to stop this bullshit. Like, enough. Stop being stupid.
It's kind of made me realize that this is just like a facade to them. This is just a game. They have no like actual stakes in the game. Like it's basically like,
go for the cover.
Like,
good cover.
The idea of like liberation is not something that they're really thinking of. They're basically just treating this like as a sport or something like that.
Adam, what do you think you're
once
doing?
Once their feelings are hurt, like like once they get their feelings hurt, they will revert to their whiteness, like in the snap of a finger. Like, and like, God forbid, like I show a bit of vulnerability and like show my emotions about everything.
But
and
you made it
like when it comes to like when it comes to like women of color like pointing out anything that's wrong with the world, we're always angry, we're always like hysterical, we're always like irrational. And especially when it comes to like making fun of white women, like it's like we've committed this like this cardinal sin. Like don't make fun of white women. Like you're gonna make us look bad. And it's like I don't care. Like,
what inspired this segment was me watching FD's video that had a segment on online figures.
Oh, I know. Everybody's wrong. I know. I'm racist. I get it. Alright, you get it. The fucking clip I had for the joke warned me that it was going to be an hour of baby clips. I don't care. That's why I picked the sound. Just do it.
Cancellation. See Merrick go into depth about why she was previously cancelled while completely leaving out the biggest one. She constantly ran defense for her now racist ex-boyfriend SDL, and joined in on the dog pal on Professor Flowers and Cat Black. She also went after me.
Okay. I don't know who they are.
For my first video essay that included her ex's racist statements.
Oh, I know Professor Flowers. She was the person that said genocide could be on the table for anti-colonial movements and people in communities to decide to just kick out a group of people. You know, totally, again, more very serious leftist ideologies.
My video also breaks down her weak 13-15 arguments, and she ignores that arrests aren't convictions. She played up the white tears and expected me to delete my first video. At this time, I was a nobody with only 500 subs.
Oh, shut the fuck up!
Black people get attacked and dogpiled.
I'm a nobody. I'm a nobody with 16 subs. I don't need to do anything friggin' popular. I'm just going by the ideas. If it just stays 16 forever, then I need to reflect inwards. But I'm not looking for clout. I just want to, add my voice to the progressive space. Calling bullshit on our team when we see it. Calling out unproductive activities and unproductive praxis like these.
Correcting white people's advocacy for us. Can you see how that can hinder a lot of work when we're stuck discussing one-on-ones with self-appointed allies?
Yeah, it's me again. I felt the need to pop up to really and to understand the seriousness of the situation I'll be discussing next. I want to shut down the productive attitudes writing in all this drama, but these are real people's lives. It never should have escalated to the scale that it did.
Yeah, then don't make the video!
The blatant trans misogyny.
Okay, this is what bothers me the most about this shit. I want to respect the memories of the trans people who have been tragically murdered and their voices will never be heard. And now I'm going to weaponize their deaths to make my points. I'm going to make a video projecting all of my crappy online behavior, pointing the fingers at bigger channels by intentionally misreading the situations here for attention, clicks, and views, because I want to be the person on the left. Like, you're not fooling me, Soul Bunny. You're not fooling me here. But that's the thing. I don't think it's a game. Like, I think she's just, like, in the wrong. Well, not in the wrong. She's just not correct and doubling down.
Nor is that the harassment, the dogpiling, and just all this coming from white women.
If you're afraid of being dogpiled, don't have an opinion on the internet. Sorry. Like, come on. That doesn't wash. That doesn't wash for me. Like, then why did you decide to be a public figure? Like, I don't. You're building a prison of your own design and throwing away the key.
That's sad. Please listen. This is a perspective we haven't been given, and understand these are real people's lives.
Yeah, that you're using
It's white
for
people
political
making
points.
these spaces unsafe for us. And that's not us being insular. It's them refusing to learn or understand or otherwise like meaningfully engage with any anti-racist theory.
Don't
or any
call me
anti-racist,
wrong.
like, praxis.
Don't correct me.
Racism is very serious and it can be extreme. White people should treat it seriously, but they have this like stereotypical idea of racism that it's for them, it's like a very high bar to meet, you know? They don't see
Which that
going
is,
and-
to her point, that is right. Some people, they only can see racism if someone puts a red armband on or puts a hood on, because they're they don't want to think about it too hard. And there have been ways of, diluting, people, if everybody, what am I saying? That, if everybody, you call everybody a Nazi and everybody's a Nazi, then, nobody's a Nazi. So she is right about that, but she is using, but how she's using it here is not correct.
Black leftist a psyop. They don't understand why that's problematic because they only see the clan hoods as a valid form of racism. They're not dealing with like the root cause of these oppressions. And it's kind of like why we keep going in this like endless circle, because we have to keep explaining to white people that yes, white supremacy.
Wait, what was that
actually
purple? I missed it. What the hell was that purple?
Because we have to keep, and it's kind of like why we keep going in this like endless circle.
That was a really fast cut. It was a fast cut on arrogance there. Almost makes me feel she's a little sheepish about it. But again, I'm a cisgendered, straight white man. It's none of my business, right? This soup-brained. Soup brain. Like she can't sleep on her side, or else her brain's gonna leak out of her ear.
Because we have to keep explaining to white people that yes, white supremacy is actually at the root of everything. It's at the root of misogyny. It's at the root of queerphobia. It's at the root of transphobia. It's at the root of...
And that is right.
Sometimes it feels like white people are just like being dense on purpose. It's like their God-given right to be dense and to keep us trapped in this cycle of explaining to white people that white supremacy is at the root of everything. Like the white arrogance makes them where they're like, I'm the
your
most
standard
person,
for
and if you tell
white
me
supremacy,
otherwise,
your standard for white supremacy is rooted in petty jokes made on the internet. Because you didn't do the research, because you didn't research what this person's deal was, something very easy for you to do. You took a take that no one, you took out of existing problems that are in society and put and applied them to a situation where it didn't warrant it. And again, why are we talking about this? You even said this was an unserious tweet. So why are we spending almost now 3/4 of the video talking to the person talking to stone-faced killer over here? Seems like a very silly lady.
Gonna harass you because you're racist. And like it's so that arrogance means that they're not coming.
It's not arrogance. Why are they calling you a racist? Because you assumed somebody's intent because of the color of their... she knows. She knows.
From a place of like wanting to learn and wanting to help and wanting to join.
And yet you made a video of doing this, about crying, about being
the right person in the room. It's about their own personal grievances. But white people, they're coming into this brand new, but they're acting like they are the experts and they're the most right. And this whole debate culture, it exacerbates that problem 100%, because they have this like following to have this fan base of people who hang on to your every word. They're not coming to this with an open mind. They're coming to this with a, okay, I'm here now, let's fix it.
Cat Black, a black.
Alright, I made my point.
Trans content creator is one of the pioneers of trans YouTube. I've been following Cat Black since I was a freshman in high school. In 2016 to 2018, she was targeted.
Was she the one that leaked? Oh, let's see. Is she the person who leaked the, who leaked sexts made to Vosh? Or am I hallucinating? I heard that on a stream of his, an old one. Oh, I think it was the same one with Professor Flowers. Yeah. Yeah, what's up with that? Why did we leak DMs? I don't think that was warranted. We can make I think we can make a point without having to, humiliate somebody on the internet. Like in earnest. I don't get why, it's okay for Cat Black to do, but not for anybody else. Like what's this, like, this isn't a race thing that I'm trying to make. It's like, what's the standard that we have to set? Where's the standard?
In a harassment campaign by the alt-right pipeline. Numerous bad faith videos were made that didn't engage at all with what Cat Black was saying in her videos. Last year's Women's History Month, she was intensely harassed by white leftists. Cat made the mistake of asking her community a very simple question. Without naming names, she asked her community that's largely trans. I
feel like the vibe this also gives me is just like, I just have to assume that Soul Bunny is right. And if I look into it, then I'm racist. I'm not buying it. Again, I don't know if that is, this is just what I'm feeling. This is like gut. This is lizard brain. Normie talking. So.
If ironic misogyny is helpful to trans liberation. This led to Ian, aka Bosch,
look out for the pink sword.
The ironic misogyny joke,
the pink buster sword,
to jump into Cat's DMs. In that exchange, Bosch not only was a massive dick, but he also displayed an explosive amount of arrogance that only a cis white man would confidently display.
He got his sex leaked. He had his private DMs leaked. I would be pretty pissed off too. Not for nothing. Like, what's up with not wanting to take accountability for your actions here?
Everything escalated fast once Boston is.
Alright, you know what? I'm just gonna finish this video here. Thanks, Soul Bunny, for being a big dummy. Now I'll have to finish the panel off stream. Thanks.
Glory misrepresented his conversation with Kat, starting a wave of harassment that would only get worse with each day. In her attempt to shut down Bosch's lies in low digs, she rightfully released the DMs that showed how unhinged and self-important Ian is. At this point, Ian decided to escalate the situation even further.
Oh god. Oh no. Full name. Hold on, let's scrunch him. Let's scrunch him this up a bit. Let's get a full screen. And you know what? I'm just gonna give it the attention it needs because this bit has gone way too long.
Taking it to stream to weaponize his live audience. ContraPoints, who's one of the biggest video essayists in LeftTube, also fell victim to.
Now I know who she is, but I know that Vosh and her have beef, but I'm not entirely familiar with that.
All this because two trans women told him that ironic misogyny isn't helpful.
Also, not for nothing, I don't need to fight that man's battles. I'm just going at this I'm just going at this blind and just from a couple streams that I saw of his about Cat Black and Professor Flowers, which was just that one debate that I saw and the result afterward.
To trans people. Many of the debate bros from Twitch and the racist queer community joined in on the dogpiling of Cat Black. Hunter Avalon being one of them who came with the biggest reach against Cat Black in his quest to gain clout. Hunter's first thought was to dig up an out-of-context tweet of Cat. It's very rich coming.
If my only two choices in this conversation about black experience are Candace Zoe and some white dude who read a few books, I think Candace, as a black woman, would have more to say. But that... Hold on a sec. Yeah, because she's... Well, what are the things that the white guy has read? A white dude who read a few books. Well, what books are we talking about here? Are we talking about the stuff that's on the Black Panther reading list? The Fall of African Civilization, I believe one of the names what are the name of those books? I'm terrible. My memory is absolutely awful. I know there's a list of books by the Black Panthers that they in the 60s they handed out for people to read, and it had a lot to do with French imperialism and the neo-colonialism of Africa, which that was also terrible considering Burkina Faso and Sankara getting assassinated by the French. But Candace Owens, why would you want to listen to somebody who, yes, is a black woman, but she will sell out the black community in every chance that she gets? Like, I don't think there's a lot of merit in listening to a woman who will defend white supremacist talking points because she's fiscally inclined to do so. I mean, we got to talk about the white guy who read a few books. Like, what are the books? Again, what are the books that he's read? It just seems to be a silly, silly tweet. If I was an American fascist for years, I'd probably not be as confident giving my take on this. What? If I was an American fascist for years, I'd probably not be as confident. I don't know what he means by that. Maybe because I'm a big idiot.
Him, since he's supposedly...
Oh yeah, that my position is not and never has been that we should initially blindly believe someone. Yeah, again, just seems like whining.
Let alone the fact that he made a very viral right-wing racist transphobic video on Cat that got hundreds of thousands of views. So to see him not only join in on the dog pile, but to do so with the dog whistle as it pull.
So, yeah, but she used identity politics to say, I would much rather listen to somebody who sells out my own people and my own community instead of a guy who's white because he's white. Like, that is silly. That, I think, is a very silly take.
It's very ironic. While we're on White Leftos, I wanted to give Dreamleaf her Queer Clan Rally Award. Her outstanding continual racist attacks and misinformation on Cat Black takes a lot of commitment to constantly have cat in your mouth. Now let's hear Ian retell what happened from his perspective.
Well,
Why do people think that calling Vosh by his real name, that's like a criticism against him? Like, what does that mean? What does all this mean?
Now let's hear Ian retell what happened from his perspective.
Well, I don't like the arguments a lot of people are using, you know? I'm okay with being criticized for the ironic misogyny, but a lot of people, I think, again, are doing that ceding ground to J.K. Rowling thing. So one of the people doing that was Cat Black on Twitter. I DM'd Cat Black saying that I disagreed with her and asked if she would be interested in hearing my explanation for my behavior. She made comments about my penis unprompted, which again is very weird. Cat Black sexually harassed me. I'm really sorry. Just out of nowhere talking about a person's dick because you sexted them before and you're having a public falling out with them, to stand by the side of that person when everything that I've done here, every element of this particular drama, has been escalated and instigated by other people. That's not an exaggeration.
Yeah. He's right, though. What is this? What is this?
Yeah, Vosh, pretty much exactly what Cat states he's into. All right, are you guys ready for the mildest hot take in the universe? Okay? Super idpol, lefty black women who are really condescending to white people in terms of their ability to engage in political discourse. Love fucking white dudes. It's the exact same reason that racist white guys all watch interracial porn to jerk off to. It's the exact same thing. It's identical.
I
There's
can't.
No
I have
difference.
no
It's
opinion on
literally
this.
the exact same goddamn thing. It's true. I'm sorry, guys.
He may be
People who
half
have,
kidding about
racist
this. I
thoughts
don't know.
tend to weirdly fetishize interracial race shit for probably reasons they should be more critical of. Is this not exactly like all of the woke scolds who would reply to ContraPoints and say stuff like, are you done invalidating the voices of trans women who have been hurt by your content? It's such a shitty, presumptuous, woke scold kind of behavior because you're presupposing, the more of you are in the
Yeah, if everything is identity politics and you demonize identity politics because it's used by the right to, pervade and intentionally muddy the water, then you have given yourself a reason as to not look into the word itself, as to not, dissect the word.
Replies being that's not what's happening right here. This is necessary, okay? Publicly shame her into changing her mind on this. I just think it's funny how he's talking shit, so here we are, lol. She really is mentally a teenage girl. Don't they say trans people go through a second puberty when they transition?
All right,
Oh my god, I didn't even see this. Wait, she's genuinely retarded. I'm so sorry. Do you guys remember the DMs that we shared?
As you saw, he did everything.
Retarded. I'm so sorry.
Vosh seems very triggered by the very suggestion that he probably doesn't have a superior understanding of transgender life. As a person who lives with it, maybe it's cruel for me to say, but his reaction felt a bit eggy. I have no idea what that means. His argument evolved, I thought you didn't need surgery or to medically transition to be trans. This sort of gotcha. What? Yeah, probably facetious. Well, considering, I think what you, I should have listened to Blair White. I mean, didn't you say in a tweet or a response that you would listen to Candace Owens over a white guy because Candace Owens is a black woman? You're what? I feel like we're looping ourselves here. We're in a loop, and Soul Bunny is upset that Vosh called out Cat Black for doing something shitty. I don't get it. I don't get what I don't understand what the point is here.
Alright, do you guys remember the DMs that we shared?
As you saw, he did everything to escalate the situation. He starts by using anti-white, which at this point is more than a dog whistle. His fetish comments were pulled completely out of his rear.
No, but you
especially
could
when
still
know that
be
Kat has
anti-white.
discussed race play
Like,
for
it
years.
doesn't have
Kat
to
is so
be
open in
a
her
dog
content about her
whistle.
experiences of black trans women being fetishized. I haven't even spoken on him going after ContraPoints for simply calling out his ego. Trans people's lived experiences will always hold more weight than what some arrogant cis white man has to offer.
Going
And
back
don't
to
waste your
Tron.
time with the Blair White and Candace Owens strawmans. You don't even realize you weaponize them against black people just as much as white supremacists.
So it's a straw man when you bring up the argument and you fall flat. Again, I'm not buying this shit.
Now to these important next clips.
It's real bad. You guys.
Oh, I know this person. I know who this is. Demon Mama. Oh no, what happened? What did you do? What did you say? It was so bad.
Saying that she leaked the sects, which, by the way, I saw large content creators.
No matter what you think of Vosh, what Kat did the other day was 100% sexual harassment. Yeah, I always speak highly of Kat, especially when talking sex and consent, which makes us even more sad. Revealing intimate conversation in public, trying to demean and humiliate someone about their genitals is so nasty. Yeah, he's right. Shark's right here. I know who Shark is. He's right. Like, no matter what the argument is, if you resort to that, it's basically like if you were on a debate stage and then you couldn't think of anything, so you decide to walk up to your opponent and pants them. Like, how does this not come off as petty? And also, I want to make a point too, because, because I said I'm operating on normie brain. I feel like if I could be the benchmark for anything, I think I've been close connection to the normie world here. Like I have myself and nobody else, and these are people that like are politically active or who are in like DSA, and they have no idea who these people are that are causing all this shit stirring and this drama. It's like if I know you from drama and not your advocacy or the points that you're making, that's a bad sign. That's a very bad sign. That means your pettiness is stronger than the idea that you're putting forth. Which, you're a leftist. How did you manage that? Like, part of being a leftist is having ideas that are like a slam dunk. Like, more socialized medicine and healthcare and redistribution of wealth. Like, these should be slam dunks for people. And yet, we're making content for the terminally online. Not helpful. It's not helpful.
Repeating the fact that she leaked the sects, which never happened. That did not ever happen. No sects were ever leaked by anyone. All that Cat Black ever did was say that the greatest extent that they ever engaged was to sext a few years ago. You guys have been spreading that lie all the fuck over the place. And honestly, that's fucking shit. Just fucking misinfo. And it is, I'm seeing it now, by the way, people perpetuating this, and this is how you start to build up a cancellation profile for someone who didn't even do the things you're accusing of them.
First of all, F you Shark for being another black man complicit in some racist transphobic bull against a black trans woman. You're really giving leftist Candace Owens vibes. You also mask off with your bad faith attacks on Cat Black. Shark was the first content creator to push this misinformation that debate bros till this day still latch onto. The hordes of racist white queer people that ran with this to attempt to silence Cat and anyone calling out the bold trans misogynoir. Shark gained a lot of clout and profited off of the tax. Black trans people don't have to accept
Vosh also
contradictory
read the
allyship
text
from
on
cis
his
black
channel.
men, throwing black trans people to the wolves that are debate bros.
Oh god.
Cat wasn't the first or the last trans person he's gone after. The clout and access he gained after strategically going after Professor Flowers was the first time I sensed coon vibes from him.
Whoa!
At the moment, he lacks any control.
What? Hold on. No. Wait. Soul Bunny. Lady, look, we don't need to use the fucking slur. You understand? We don't need to use the fucking slur in order to make our point. What the fuck? And this is the same criticism you knock Vosh for. What? That sucks.
Nutrition for the hate you push. I don't have time to deal with Uncle Ruckus Jr. When my
Oh,
brown
bull
trans siblings
fucking
are lacking
shit.
resources, support, dying, and being murdered. That's a lesson from this
Unbelievable.
that I want leftists and especially
Gross.
to understand. To have allyship with black trans folks is so much more than publicly
Gross.
stating your support. To be intersectional.
This shit is racist as fuck. This is super gross. So, every black person that disagrees with you is that to you? Yuck. Ugh. Jesus.
With us, you need to include us in your dialogue. You'll need to share your platforms to help push nuanced discussions. Learn what trans misogynoir is, which I discuss in my video Transphobe.
Which is calling you out for being wrong and doing shitty things on the internet? Yeah, spare me.
And trans misogynoir. Now back to this caucasity.
I will not move from my positions because I am right and confident in that rightness. And I have not, nor will I ever cede ground to bad arguments, because they're being offered by people with different lived experiences than me. We will be mass banning people from my subreddit who take any position other than the correct one, which is mine. Also from my chat and from my Discord. There were a lot of people here in my community and chat who...
Which, that part I'm not particularly crazy about. But then again, I've never had as big of a community as Vosh. So maybe I can't make judgments. Unless I have a follower count like that, because I'm sure that it requires like moderation, patience, and all that shit. Which I have plenty of patience. I just don't have enough viewers to make a community to have that be a problem. But I can imagine, because this is a perceived wrong and done in bad faith, and I think if you're going to engage in a political forum, maybe you should, I think it helps to do it in a, obviously in good faith. And even if DMs aren't leaked, just talking about the size of someone's, the size of someone's piece. Yeah, because you were incorrect about something. That, I think, is fucked. So, Demon Mom, I think, was right. The DMs weren't leaked, and I made that, if I said that any time in the stream, I apologize. Vosh, was, what actually happened, I think, was Cat Black was describing his dick. This is so fucking stupid! Oh, my God. Ugh. Just melting my fucking brain, chat.
Were defending Contra throughout all this, but Contra never actually posed an argument to me in public. What am I supposed to take from that? Don't you think the whole I'm right, you're wrong mentality encourages this kind of behavior? No, never cede into the abusers. They want you to think that being confident is what they have a problem with. They want you to believe, oh, things would be so much better if only you were weaker and more susceptible to peer pressure. I will never cede anything for the sake of optics with these fucking people, okay? Never in my life. I will tear this entire goddamn community to the ground before I cede even the slightest point for the sake of getting them off my back. I do not care. I will never care. I'm building my nest egg, all right? I'll do this shit for as long as I can. I will never in my life back off. And if more people were like me, the left would have won the online space years ago.
After watching that, aren't you eager to give him the most helpful trans ally award? If bad media literacy was clips, it would be these. Strictly only be in a community with trans people that agree with you, as this person says.
You're doing the
this
same
is
thing,
exactly
though,
what
lady.
Creates insular spaces where white supremacy and the queer community can grow. He purged away the remaining intersectional.
By that same token, then if we're stuck in the echo chamber, there's no room for, potential allies to come in from other spaces. a movement becomes insular, that insular movement becomes stagnant, and then it dies because you've lopped it off at the knees before you gave it a chance to grow.
Face and built walls like the arrogant, entitled white boy he is. To be this explosive over being corrected is what BIPOC leftist fear in shared spaces.
No, you were wrong, and you didn't like
the
being
cognitive
wrong.
dissonance is white supremacy. Like, let's be real.
Oh my
But
god, the
that
same
weird
fucking
cognitive
person.
dissonance, like,
I don't
It was
care.
a bit surprising.
I don't care,
You know, like, and
lady.
this,
You've
like,
already.
This is my real life.
Yeah, but you've already said that this was again, you already proved yourself to be an unserious person. I'm not listening to you. I'm going back to drawing.
You know, like, these are my, like, lived experiences. Whereas these, like, white leftists are just, like, they're just doing Discord. They're just shitposting. They're just trying to get content for their streams or whatever, and they're trying to do this, like, reactionary grifting, like a lot of people on the right do. Like,
I don't. For the
like,
record,
the fact that so many white leftists also had the same reaction.
For the record, I don't think Soul Bunny is a grifter. I don't think this person is a grifter. I just think they're, you know, just quadrupling down to the point where, you know, any constructive take is now muddled by crying and whining and you know, reactions to petty slights. Like, this is all it's non-substantive. No, thank God we have 6 minutes left.
As so many right-wing douchebags kind of speaks volumes, you know? Like, even white people who are, like, marginalized by class or by disability or
Doesn't matter to you.
sexuality, they still had the same reactions as, like, Jesse Single. And what does that say about whiteness? What does that say about so-called white progressives?
This final mask-off conversation I'll show you is of Ian talking to Andrewism. It is rich in examples of being out of touch and struggling with allyship 101s.
The problem is, the language that I used was inclusionary, and the language that she used was exclusionary, which is the reason why I was critical. My message
Exclusionary in what way?
So she literally says, do not talk to me about police, white people, until you've done X. I can't imagine.
She said, please don't speak to me about police in the context of what the guy said. She was speaking directly to somebody. She had quote-tweeted somebody. So the please don't speak to you about police is specific to that tweet. But the first sentence, why white leftists more eager to unify with racialized communities than organize your own people first. Second sentence, unity with black people is meaningless as long as the masses of white people are indoctrinated into white supremacy and liberalism. Now, in the original stream, you are taking issue with the phrase your own people. Do you still have issue with that phrase?
Yeah. Why are we racializing this?
Because you can't ignore race in America of all places.
No, if you
But
have
he's
a
not.
problem with a take, you don't need to say, why are these white people giving a bad take? You don't need to say white people aren't doing enough. If you have an issue with a take,
pointing out a general trend in the organization patterns of
right, that's essentializing.
Lack of organizing patterns. It's not essentializing. So
then why did black people overwhelmingly vote for Biden instead of Bernie? Maybe you guys need to do more radicalization within your own community first? How much is X or Y doing? Like, why aren't white people doing enough? Why not use positive language that includes people? White people have a power that black people don't.
Because you don't need to coddle people.
Oh, see, now we're getting to it. Using inclusionary language is coddling. Anti-revolutionary rhetoric. This is counter-revolutionary from No Name. The original tweet is saying, hey, workers of America, we need to rise up together and recognize that petty racial infighting is not the way to solve our problems. We need to work together against the collective institutions that oppress us.
You have a weird way of perceiving these sort of things, but let me scale back a bit.
If you were a random white
context.
kid and you saw this tweet, like, you realize...
We're not talking about random white kids, Fosh.
Random white kids are future revolutionaries. White Boy Summer is a revolutionary's haven, okay? We need those random white kids.
We need the normies. You need to convince the normies.
I don't care what normies think about our movement. How can we recruit
that I disagree with.
We don't care about what randoms think about our messaging. We need to know. We need to be appealing to them as much as possible. We should be having bake sales.
Sorry, let me see, that's a problem I have. If trying to do this and draw at the same time, I'm missing these bits.
to solve our problems. We need to work together against the collective institutions that oppress us.
You have a weird way of perceiving these sort of things, but let me.
Or why doing, like, why aren't white people doing enough? Why not use positive language that includes people? White people have a power that black people don't.
Because you don't need to coddle people.
Oh, see, now we're getting to it. Using inclusionary language is coddling, anti-revolutionary rhetoric. This is counter-revolutionary from No Name. The original tweet is saying, hey, workers of America, we need to rise up together.
Why are white leftists more eager to unify with racialized communities than organizing your own people? Unity with black people is meaningless as long as the masses of white people are indoctrinated into white supremacy. Please don't speak to me about what? No Name. Revolution requires unity. Yes. No Name, in this tweet, to me, No Name has just continuously failed to convince people. And they're making it everybody else's problem. They're now making it the movement's problem because they couldn't convey a point, which I have no sympathy for.
Recognize that petty racial infighting is not the way to solve our problems. We need to work together against the collective institutions that oppress us.
Again, Fred Hampton, Rainbow Coalition. That's what he was talking about.
Of perceiving these sort of things, but let me scale back a bit.
If you were a random white
context.
kid and you saw this tweet, like, you realize...
We're not talking about random white kids, Fosh.
Random white kids are future revolutionaries. White Boy Summer is a revolutionary's haven, okay? We need those random white kids. And they see a tweet like this, and what do they think? How can you recruit new people if you don't care what normies think about our movement? How can we recruit new people if we don't care about what randoms think about
he's right.
We need to
He's
know. We
absolutely right. This is the
bake sales to get these fuckers in our doors. There are people who are going to.
Here's why Vosh is right about this. Because I work in IATSE. When I'm on set, there's nothing but normies, right? We're too busy working to check out this online drama, to be this invested in what's going on within, the movement within the movement. That's why I think Hassan and his channel is really, really effective because, in his way, he is talking to people and not at them. He's made his, I'm not saying he's a debate bro. He's not. But he has a handle on socialist ideas and he's making it digestible and accessible to normies. This, that's the point of the movement.
Say that I'm tone policing, but that it's okay to tone police massive public figures when they're giving political messaging. That's an okay time to tone police, actually. Optics is very important when it comes to bringing over new people. I don't think we're ever going to agree on that. And even if they never fully unlearn it and they're still like a little bit racist, what would you rather have? A slightly racist white kid who wants a proletarian revolution, or a slightly racist white kid with a Back the Blue sticker on the back of his fucking Ford Focus, I know that I would rather have them on the left. And maybe they're irritating and other black people on the online left don't want to be around them. That's cool. They don't have to. It's not a social club.
Yeah.
Stay in some
That's right. That's the point. It's not a club.
Behavior, And who do you think is going to create that path? Who do you think should create that path? Who do you think should be putting in that difficult work to build that path?
Well, I do it better than pretty much anyone else, I think. So I'd say me. Yeah, I think other white people can use their privilege to try to access those communities.
Which is No Name's point.
No Name was basically telling white people to sweep their own porch before coming to pick apart black people's advocacy. Being that white Americans have yet to tangibly reckon with their whiteness.
Now I know why
still
the
at large
meme
are struggling to push anti-racist efforts within their own spaces.
Now I see the meme. Vosh bad. Now I see it. It was right there. Clear as day.
It took an entire hour for Ian to finally understand the No Name tweet, only to gaslight his way out of reflecting, purposely refusing to understand since his whole argument he relied on would crumble.
No, he just didn't agree with you.
Personally feeling right, than truly understanding what Andrewism and No Name are conveying. The idea that black people at the tone police are intersectional leftist spaces, for some likely still racist white boys to feel welcome, is quite literally counterproductive.
Right, but that
the
can
only
happen,
that need to be doing
but
bake
you
sales
didn't
and
do
going
it.
door to door are other white people. The Black Panther Party and MLK were largely unpopular, yet they made so much progress. Progress that was made without the majority of white Americans and normies. Moving forward, we should stop engaging and going back and forth with bigots that dig their heels in. That time could be better spent uplifting to stop what was made and that need to be likely purposely willing to push anti-racist porch before
to work to build that path.
See when I gotta pay attention to this stupid ass. I don't want to miss this point. Sorry, Anna. My caricature of Anna Kasparian. We're coming along, but unfortunately we got this bullshit. I had to do this. Oh my fucking god, I hate this shit.
Anyone else, I think. So I'd say me. Yeah, I think other white people can use their privilege to try to access those communities.
Which is No Name's point.
No Name was basically telling white people to sweep their own porch before coming to pick apart black people's advocacy. Being that white Americans have yet to tangibly reckon with their whiteness. They still at large are struggling to push anti-racist efforts within their own spaces. It took an entire hour for Ian to finally understand the No Name tweet, only to gaslight his way out of reflecting, purposely refusing to understand since his whole argument he relied on would crumble, placing more importance in personally feeling right than truly understanding what Andrewism and No Name are conveying. The idea that black people have the tone police our intersectional leftist spaces, for some likely still racist white boys to feel welcome is quite literally counterproductive. The only people that need to be doing bake sales and going door to door are other white people. The Black Panther Party and MLK were largely unpopular, yet they made so much progress. Progress that was made without the majority of white Americans and normies.
Wrong. Martin Luther King was an effective organizer and speaker because he could appeal to the normies. And yet, he was still incredibly unpopular.
Moving forward, we should stop.
And yet, he was incredibly unpopular because he was perceived as a radical. He has constantly said he's disappointed by the actions of the white moderate, not the white revolutionary, not the white leftist, the white moderate. Soul Bunny has completely misread this whole thing. And you want to, again, no mention of Fred Hampton and the Rainbow Coalition, or Jesse Jackson adapting that in his presidential campaign. No talk of that. I can't imagine as to why not.
Engaging and going back and forth with bigots that dig their heels in. That time could be better spent uplifting and helping build intersectional leftist creators.
Yeah, but then what are you doing, Soul Bunny? You're doing the same thing.
Creators. Together we can encourage a healthy space welcoming more diverse voices, where tone policing isn't the norm.
Where, calling, a black person you don't agree, the C word, that's advocacy, right? That's gross. Gross bullshit. I'm an Irish American. You're not gonna hear me say any slurs that involve potatoes and shit, because I don't need to say it. Why did you feel the need to say it? Why did you feel the need to call him something gross because he didn't agree with you? Why did you feel the need to dehumanize him? See, even if you wanted to make a point in this video, just calling him that, your first choice was to dehumanize somebody who didn't agree with you. You're doing the thing you're accusing other people of doing in other spaces.
Nuance, encourage, and our lived experience are...
I'm done. Done with this shit. Yeah. I didn't find that video very helpful at all. I thought Soul Bunny would teach me a thing or two about advocacy, but instead I learned how to whinge on the internet. And now I had a thing to draw. Now the stream is over. Because I gotta go to bed. Early. It's 9:10 here. I gotta go to sleep at 10 tonight. God, I can't believe it. I had to spend all this time picking apart this dummy. And I missed it. I missed my chance to do the cool thing. But tune in tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow. We're going to talk about my Patreon. I have a graphic novel I'm doing. It's going to be very fun. And I'm editing YouTube videos. Oh, not tomorrow. Friday. I'm going to be editing a bunch of videos. I keep putting it off. But, my YouTube page is looking very barren. I need to do something about it. All right. Soul Bunny. I don't like your video very much. I don't think it was very helpful. I think it was all projection, and it was just rambling, incoherent rambling. And you got in the way of fine art today. I hope you're proud of yourself.